Hello everybody and welcome back to the Doctor Will See You Now. So today we got a very big, very long PlayStation Experience conference to talk about. So I'm just going to jump right into it because it's a really long show. Alright, so they open up the conference with the Uncharted 4 demo. A little bit change of pace from what they've been showing in the past. This one was mainly all dialogue between Nate and his brother. It was really interesting. Like, that was very much a scene that I would have kind of enjoyed watching in the game itself. But I think it really sets up the game and like what the story they're gonna tell here is. His brother comes back out of nowhere, and he ends with saying, "Oh, I'm in a lot of trouble." Like, that Nate's gonna have to go out and help him. The really standout part of that whole demo was the dialogue choice coming up. I'm really not sure how this is gonna work into the game. I don't know if they're going to give you a chance to ask each of the questions, or ask each of the questions, or make each of the statements, or they're gonna, only let you pick one. But I think it's an interesting path and take with Uncharted 4, and I'm really intrigued about how that's going to come out into the main game. Alright, next came up the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which they had some real gameplay, which actually kind of surprised me with, hearing about it just being announced at, I think that was E3. And, wow, it looks really, really good. I've never played the original, but with it being so many people's, favorite game of all time, it, really makes me excited that I'm gonna get the experience the first time this way. I'm a big fan of turn-based combat, and I know people are going to be really unhappy to find that this is going to have a real-time combat scheme, but I think it looked incredible. I was really just excited. Makes me even more excited for a game that honestly I don't care too much about, but I think it'll be neat to get to finally play this game with it being so many people's favorite game of all time. So next, talked a little bit about Call of Duty. Not really gonna get into it because it really wasn't any new announcements. They talked about World League, just more Call of Duty esports. Next came up Star Wars, which also there really wasn't any announcements there. You get to play the new Battle of Jakku DLC, comes out on Tuesday. They didn't really need to add that into the conference. Could have just, been a press release. But, one of the neat things is just that whole video of just that, the holy shit I am in Star Wars kind of moments. Which is, really the reason a lot of people are playing that game. And I think it was really smart that they know that, and that they're capitalizing off of, what people are playing that game for. Next comes Battleborn. I'm a little worried about what this game is going to become. It just seems like there's lots of other games that are kind of doing very similar things, and I just hope that they have something that can make this game stand out. He was really on stage selling that game, and the way he acted seemed, worried about it. Like, they are trying to sell that game and telling people, they're talking to people and telling them what they want to know. There's going to be a campaign in this game. There's going to be split screen. Both things that people have been complaining a lot about recently, not being in, anything from Titanfall to Star Wars, and also, no split screen in Halo. Like, people have been really upset about that recently. And the guys from Battleborn are just saying, hey, we're here and we're doing this. And also, mentioning that these are the guys that created Borderlands. Like, there is a lot of humor behind that. I think there's going to be a lot of humor in this game. I think this game has a chance to be a really fun and funny first-person shooter, and I hope that they're able to, capitalize off of that and create an awesome game. Next came Street Fighter V, and another thing that I don't care about Street Fighter. I don't know anything about Street Fighter. New character was announced. If you care about it, I'm sure you already know that. But one of the things I enjoy is I don't even know the guy's name, but just the guy that gets out there and does these talks. I think it was the same guy as Paris Games Week. He's just he's just having fun out there. Gio Corsi comes out and he's like, "Come on, get off the stage," and the guy, does his whatever move from Street Fighter, and it was just like it was good. Alright, so now comes just game after game after game. And I mean, I'm probably going to mention majority of them. I'm probably not going to talk too much about each of them. Maybe, the ones I know about. So, Dead Star looked like a really interesting space shooter. I think that'll be awesome. Adult Swim games, that was a really awesome little thing to show at a conference like that. I think, knowing Adult Swim, all of those games have some really neat art in it. And, I mean, I think each one has a chance to shine. And, I think they're really being smart by capitalizing off of that name and creating games that complement the kind of content that is on that station. Alright, so then we get Mr. Double Fine himself coming out on stage talking about Day of the Tentacle, giving us a new trailer. I never played Day of the Tentacle, and I, play the rare adventure game when I feel like getting into it, but, the one that looks neat. I'm sure I'll try it out when it comes out. Announces Full Throttle, Full Throttle remake. And then also Psychonauts VR game, which I'm not a very big Psychonauts fan. I never played the original, but I know lots of people are going to be really excited for Psychonauts 2, and also I'm sure they'll be excited for this VR game that comes out. Alright, so GeoCourse just pretty much goes crazy from now on, just game after game and lots of Vita love, which makes me really happy. A lot of these games were like, yeah, PS4 and Vita, and they were really sure to mention that it was coming to Vita when it was on stage, and that's just awesome to hear. So, Invisible, Inc. Don't Starve Together. I've heard good things about Invisible, Inc. Don't know too much about it. Don't Starve. I played a good bit of Don't Starve when it came to PS4. I think it was like a free PS Plus game. I mean, Don't Starve Together, really neat to add some co-op in there. If it's split screen, that might be something that I'll jump back into. I mean, I think it'd be fun. Have my friend Ben over and we'll Don't Starve Together. Zodiac Orcanon Odyssey, Hitman Go, Brawlhalla, just more games that are, coming to PlayStation. Hitman Go seems like an interesting one. I mean, I feel like that's more of just, them capitalizing off of that being a pretty hot popular thing. I mean, I never played Hitman Go, but I've recently been playing Lara Croft Go, and I've been enjoying that. I think what they're doing with those properties on mobile is a really interesting way to capitalize off of that. A little bit of talk of Yakuza. I think it was Yakuza 0 is coming to PlayStation 4, and Yakuza 5 I think it was going to be on PS3. Awesome for Yakuza fans. One that really stood out to me was Nioh, which is a game by Team Ninja. I mean, honestly, go look up that trailer. I think that might have been one of my favorite games of just that showing. I think it looks incredible, and I'm really excited to play that. Then, I think it was 3 games in a row that are just, released that day. Bastion on Vita, which, finally this is coming out. I'm definitely going to jump back into that. I played it a little recently on PS4, and it's another game that I've started maybe 4 times now, and haven't gotten too deep in it, so I'm excited to really jump back into that. Bit Trip, which is, I think not all, but maybe a majority of the Bit Trip games all put together on PlayStation 4 and Vita. That's another one that I'd love to pick up on Vita. And then third one, Nuclear Throne, which I didn't know too much about. I read a little story about it, and I read that it was a shooter, a 2D, twin-stick shooter roguelike. So I'm like, whatever, looks cool, picked it up. I haven't put my Vita down since I picked it up on Saturday. I've been playing this game nonstop. Definitely, one of my favorite games that I've played in a little while. A couple more games that I talked about. Brutal, looks like a really awesome game. The Show 2016. I'm not a big baseball guy. I mean, I know this is really the only baseball game that comes out. I mean, I have a friend that actually a couple years ago actually bought a PS3 just to play those games. I know that if you're a baseball fan, I'm sure you'll be excited for The Show 2016. Talk a little bit more about Guns Up, saying that it's been announced. Not announced. It was released on that day. I mean, I've heard a good bit about it from Kind of Funny. I know they were giving out codes for it, but I mean, it's free to play, so why not jump into that and play that? Fat Princess is back. We got another Fat Princess game coming out, a 4-player online and couch co-op game. The majority of what I know from Fat Princess was from PlayStation All-Stars, so I mean this might be a neat like jump-in point. Get a couple friends together and play some Fat Princess together. And then a game that I've been really excited about since I first saw the remake footage was Ratchet and Clank on PS4. I'm really excited to play that original game on PlayStation. I think it looks really good, and I mean I just can't wait for that to come out. They show a 1v1 kind of like fight each other PSVR demo. I feel like that kind of fell flat. It's really hard to show off these VR games on stage, and I think that you're gonna have to find a much better way to talk about these things because it's not coming across all that well when they have like two people on stage wearing these helmets trying to talk about their game. But next we get a couple other really cool VR games. Rez in VR I think looks really cool. I mean they're showing more full games, not just tech demos. These tech demos are not going to sell your system. You have to be showing me full games to make me and the rest of the people excited for this thing. Eagle Flight, which is another game that I think has potential. It seemed like this, I don't know about co-op, or I don't know exactly what it is, but you're an eagle flying around a city. Made by Ubisoft. One of my thoughts would be is, let's say Eagle Flight comes out. It's $5.99. You get to fly around this city, fly around with your friends, do time trials, all this stuff. But what if they could release like $2.99, DLC packs with each one being a different Assassin's Creed city and having it be fully populated and just being an eagle and flying around those cities? Like, I mean, that's an awesome. I mean, it's still a tech demo. I don't see where there's really a full game there, but I think that's something that's really cool that can sell the system. Modern Zombie Taxi Co., I think is what it was called, and pretty much looks like Crazy Taxi with zombies. Another neat VR game. 100-Foot Robot Golf, which just looks like some really stupid fun. Ace Combat 7 in VR, which, I mean, I played a little bit of, I forget which Ace Combat, but I remember playing it when I first picked up my 360. Wasn't my kind of game, but, I mean, I know that if I get Ace Combat 7 in VR, I know my friend Ben and his dad are going to be over to try that thing out, because that's something that they would love. Just being able to fly around in a fighter jet and have like the cockpit actually be your face. Like, it's just a really interesting thing that they're doing. Another thing that I'm not a big Destiny fan, but Destiny Sparrow Racing League is such a good idea. Like, that's awesome. I mean, I feel like people that love Destiny are going to be so happy with that. Like, I think that's just a really neat addition to that game that they could have added forever ago, but, why complain? It's coming. Like, that looks really cool. I'm excited for those fans. And then I talked a little bit before about my favorite game that was shown here. Well, I lied, because my favorite game that was shown was Ni no Kuni 2. I am so excited for this thing. I remember, like, I wasn't able to watch the show when it first was airing live, and I remember when I first read the story about Ni no Kuni 2, I could not believe it. Like, that is so awesome. I had so much fun with the original Ni no Kuni, and I can't wait for this game. Like, it brought back, like, I've always dreamed, like, I'm a big Pokemon kid, and I always dreamed about that, like, 3D Pokemon being able to run around and just having more freedom, and that's what Ni no Kuni was to me. I mean, playing that, a couple years ago, it was that 3D Pokemon game that I always wanted as a kid, and it was so cool to play that, and it's so awesome to see that we're getting more of that. And I think one of the last things I talked about, Paragon on PS4 and PC, which would be a console MOBA made by Epic. Seems like there's a lot of these games coming out. I hope they can do something that makes them look different, because, the trailer really reminded me of something like Overwatch or Battleborn. Like, I know there's not all, trying to say that they're, under the MOBA name, but they all seem very similar in my eyes. And I just hope that Epic, I mean, I know they know what they're doing, but I hope that they are able to make their game different than the competition. So that was a quick overview of everything that went on during PlayStation Experience. I thought it was a pretty good show. I mean, it was different than the majority of shows. It was very much just like, I mean, especially like Gio Corsi comes out on stage and he's just having fun talking about these awesome games. They're all just, it was a much less formal conference. It was much more, I mean, and that's what PS Experience is. It's just these head guys coming out and talking to the biggest of biggest fans. And, I've been hearing some, just hate on the show and just like the pacing for it, but I mean, I thought it was fun. I saw a lot of awesome games. I mean, a bunch more that I'm really excited to play. And if you're looking for a game to pick up right away, I highly, highly recommend Nuclear Throne. If you like roguelikes, I think you're going to enjoy this game. Really awesome on Vita, and I mean, definitely my favorite game that I was able to pick up right away. So, you're probably going to be seeing a video on Nuclear Throne coming up soon, since I've really been enjoying it. And my copy of Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming in the mail tomorrow and Tuesday, so there will be video back up on that as well. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys soon.